Good evening, golfers, sandbaggers, choppers, and hackers, to the great American golf debate, the ultimate clash of two brothers. I'm your moderator, Steve Strzok, and it's an honor to guide this important discussion. Today, we'll hear from our participants, Bob Kitchen and Andy Kitchen, on the biggest issues in golf that matter most to all of you. My goal is to foster an engaging and respectful dialogue. Here's how this debate will proceed. Each participant will have an allotted time to speak on each question, followed by opportunities for rebuttals and open, polite discussion. I'll ensure we stay on track and within the time limits. Let's get started. First, I'd like to give both nominees the chance to introduce themselves.
Andy Kitchen. I'm a 15 handicap golfer. Been in the golf business my entire life. Two-time flight winner and the Railside member guest. Maple Hill Junior League champion 1988. Also a top 5 finisher in Golf League 4 of the last 15 years.
Bob.
I'm Bob Kitchen, the younger, more athletic brother of Andy Kitchen. Went to state finals 2 out of my 4 years of high school golf. My senior year finishing state runner-up for our team in Wyoming, Michigan here. I've also won my flight down at Railside a couple of times as well. I've got the hardware on my mantle to prove that. First off, he's not a 15, but I am a lower handicap than what he is. I'm right now probably right around an 11. And in general, I've been beating Andy for about 35 years or so, maybe a little bit longer than that at golf. So I think it's time to get started, Steve.
All right, our first question of the night is regarding the greatest golfer of all time. Tiger or Jack, who holds the greater legacy? Andy, I'll let you start.
Okay, thanks, Steve. So to me, it's clear cut. It's Jack Nicklaus. Jack has amazing stats, and I will recognize Tiger of having amazing stats as well. I think sometimes Jack, because he's older, doesn't get recognized like he should. He didn't come around during the social media era, but Jack was quite a player. First of all, he has 3 more majors. Obviously, that's the biggest events in golf. Jack was using golf club heads this little bitty and whooping everybody with them. The technology changes have been amazing. Of course, that helps everybody, but Jack was out there using some of the hardest to hit clubs and still shooting scores that are amazing, even today. Jack went on to become a golf course designer, a very successful one of the most successful ones. Jack, let's see some of the stats I have here. 1970 to 1980, 44 majors he played, then he only missed 1 cut. That's absolutely incredible. I know Tiger would never have played in that many majors in a row without having an issue come up where he doesn't play. From 1970 to 1979, in the Masters specifically, Jack's worst finish was 8th. Very amazing stat as well. He has 68 finishes in majors of 7th or better. So let that sink in a second. 117 total wins amongst all the tours. Jack's a quality individual and a great player, great ambassador for the game. I do respect Tiger and all the good he's done, but I think this is a clear-cut decision here, Jack, and those of you that don't agree, I'd encourage you to Google and read the stats.
Thanks, Andy. Bob, your response?
Well, while Jack Nicklaus does have a lot of these records and the most this and the most that, he was playing against a bunch of hacks back in the day compared to what Tiger's playing against now and the athletes of today's era. So not to take anything away from Jack's competitors back in the day, but if you look at those guys and look at what those athletes looked like compared to today's athlete with Tiger Woods, and what he did to the game of golf and how he changed the physique of the golfer. All of them now are in tip-top condition. Tiger Woods changed that because he could hit it further than anybody. He moved the golf around the golf course better than anybody ever has, including Jack Nicklaus. While Jack does have a lot of records, Tiger holds the records for the most consecutive cuts. Tiger holds the records for most weeks at #1 in the world. And Tiger holds a ton of records with much, much more stiffer competition than what Jack ever had to face. Back in the 70s and 80s and when Jack was doing all his winning, and Tiger was being born, the game of golf evolved rapidly during that time. So, however, Jack had a phenomenal career and there's nothing you can take against it, and this will be a debate forever. Tiger Woods did more in a shorter period of time. He had a much tougher road to even get there in the first place. Being a man of color, it's a little more difficult for him. And in 1997, when Tiger jumped on the scene, he won the Masters by 12 strokes, a feat Nicklaus never even came close to. And in the years that the Masters has been going on, nobody else has ever won it by more than 9. And there was 1-9, 1-8, and everything else is considerably less than that. Tiger blew away the competition with much tougher competition, something Jack was never able to accomplish. And if you look at the statistics too, in 97 when Tiger won the Masters, for that year for winning the Masters, he won $486,000, okay? So you want to talk about legacy. Tiger won $486,000 in 1997, 486. This year, Scotty wins it. Scotty wins $3.6 million. Same tournament, whatever it was, less than 30 years later, Tiger Woods changed the game of golf drastically. I'm sure Jack moved the needle to Tiger, and Tiger moved the needle so much different. The legacy of golf, the change of golf, the physique of golf, the competition of golf, the dollars involved, clearly is just absolutely astronomically different. Although I have all the respect in the world for Jack Nicklaus, Tiger's the man.
Andy, your chance to.
Hey, bud. Thank you. First of all, it looks like a tiger got a hold of your hair. So let's talk about records. Tiger does have many records, including being in the media and in the news for the wrong reasons more than any golfer of all time. Yes, we're a forgiving society, and I'm in agreement with that. But at the same time, let's just golf and keep yourself in the news for the right reasons would be a great idea. Another record is, how do you take a golf company or a sporting goods company such as Nike and absolutely tank them to the point that they jump out of golf? Tiger was the signature Nike guy, and Nike jumped ship from golf. And why is that, I wonder? Just something that is just perplexing to me in the legacy of Tiger Woods. And of course, his stats are great. He did play great competition, but I heard Bob talk about Jack's competition, and I'd like to hear the families of the Tom Watsons and the Arnold Palmers rebut that they're a bunch of hacks. I don't think they'll agree. Arnold Palmer, obviously a very great pro, lots of great stats, made a delicious drink that's still one of the most popular to these days, still only 99 cents. It's just one of these things that I know Bob's saying facts, but when you really truly think about it and look at all the things Jack's done, he's a clear-cut favorite. With Tiger being a close second, we will give him that.
Bob?
Okay, speaking of Jack, replies. Thank you for that whirlwind of nonsense. That's what I was gonna say, including bringing up his drink. Jack was very fortunate to play before social media and all the things that go along with that. Back when Jack played, I'm not saying that Tom Watson wasn't a phenomenal golfer, Arnold Palmer wasn't a phenomenal golfer. Of course, they are phenomenal golfers, but I'm saying there was just a handful of them compared to what Tiger played against. Tiger played against 20, 30 guys that could have or should have won. Phil Mickelson would give Arnold Palmer, Tom Watson a run for their money any day of the week. I mean, Phil Mickelson was a phenomenal player. Had Tiger Woods not been born, Phil Mickelson would probably have 10 to 15 more majors, or probably 30 to 40 more wins. Literally, that's how good Phil was, but he happened to be in the shadow of Tiger. You want to talk about Nike? Well, they jumped out of making golf clubs. Yes, the golf clubs is a very difficult animal. We can tell you that. That's what we do. We sell them. But Nike did not jump out of golf. That's still a very big sports brand, and they're still killing it with apparel, and they're killing it with footwear as well. So Nike didn't jump out of golf. So let's not cross the facts there. They did not. They're still in the sport of golf. Watch the TV. You can see lots of guys with the swoosh on their shirt. I can tell you that Tiger's certainly not the first person to be doing what he was doing. It's just a little bit of a shame that it was during the social media and everybody wanted to throw stones at Tiger. And I know that will be part of his legacy because he did do it. He's clearly guilty of it. But at the same time, he's not the first person to do that. And like you did say, it's good to have some forgiveness for what he's done. So I just think Tiger is just touched a bigger market, and his legacy will just be bigger and better than anybody that's ever played the sport. And probably while we're still alive, he'll still be the GOAT of all time in the sport of golf.
Bob, the next question is for you. Recently, some big names have left the PGA Tour for Live Golf. Eugenio Chacarra, Junichiro Kazuma, Wade Ormsby, and of course Hudson Swafford. Why do you think those players left the PGA Tour, and what tour offers a better future for the game of golf?
Well, definitely losing Eugenio and Wade was something that'll go down in the history. As far as what offers a better future for the game of golf, the PGA Tour, the Live, that's not even remotely close. PGA Tour, look back at the tradition and what it's all done for the sport of golf over the years. The Live Tour is simply a flash in the pan. When the money that they're losing on that tour gets too high, the backers will stop supporting it. And I know, even though we're talking about billionaires or gazillionaires, whatever they're called, that has unlimited funds like what they do, even those people at some point in time do get sick of losing money. I'm sure of it. And the Live Tour, that group even got into the game of golf, I have absolutely no idea other than to disrupt the PGA Tour, which I'm not sure why they tried to come after us. But the PGA Tour will live on forever. It is the golf entity worldwide. It is the authority in the game of golf. There's no doubt about it.
Andy?
The money. The money. Money continues to be and always has been undefeated. You can't argue with the money with the LIV Tour. PGA Tour does a lot of great things, has a lot of great players, but think about it a second. Increased salaries, playing 3 18-hole matches instead of 4, a little more laid back. You've got music blaring so loud you can't understand the lyrics. You've got shorts. You've got 4-person teams with names that nobody really cares about, but it's a team thing, right? 4 people together, and they really enjoy that from what it appears. The LIV players seem to like the more laid-back approach, the less vigorous schedule, and then the PGA Tour, of course, caved and is letting the LIV Tour players play in the majors, which is also a big deal. So the LIV players get to kind of have their cake and eat it too. It appears that the LIV well of money is never ending. So in terms of long lastingness, I think that's going to just continue on and on. The things I think about with the PGA Tour, yeah, the majors are great, but things like the Rite Aid Classic and the Scholar's Knee Brace Invitational, who watches those things? Who cares about them? The LIV Tour events have all the best players. They typically have probably 15 of the top 20 players in the entire world playing. Yeah, some of the locations are kind of goofy in the times, and the CW network is probably down there a little bit in terms of popular TV stations, but you get the best players, you pay them the most money, make it eventful, get the music going, get everybody a little more laid back vibe, and I don't see that going away anytime soon.
Bob, I'll give you a chance to rebut that hypothetical here for you. Say Eugenio Chacarra wanted to come back to the PGA Tour after he departed for LIV. What's your take on that? And I'll let you respond to Andy's comments as well.
As long as he meets the requirements, as long as he can do what it takes to play on the PGA Tour, as long as he requalifies. We're not going to just give him somebody's spot because he decided to take the money and go over to the LIV. But if he's got the game, I mean, Eugenio was sharp at the end when he left. The guy was hot, and then boom, LIV offers him, $2 million or whatever it was to go. All right, this guy wants to talk about money. His entire outfit cost $10. So one thing Andy mentioned that is a good idea is the change of formats. And making a little bit different and doing team formats and that kind of thing, which the PGA Tour is considering some of that. And I do think that may be a bit of a future for the PGA Tour. I do think that that's not the worst idea. The way LIV's doing it's pretty bad. And then the fact that LIV can't even get on a closed circuit TV, I mean, goodness gracious, like their coverage,
satellite dish.
Their coverage is awful, absolutely awful. Nobody has a satellite dish anymore; it's all internet. And they can't even get on that because nobody cares about the LIV Tour. It's just really, really hard to watch. I mean, you got big names like Eugenio out there, but I can tell you that it's just a poor, sad product that never really got in the air. And at some point in time, I think that the guys in the Middle East that are supporting it will pull the plug on it, and then we'll go back to the normal of just the PGA Tour and all the great things that go along with that.
Andy, anything?
Nothing too much further. I think some of what Bob said kind of proves my point. My message would be, stay strong, Eugenio. Think about your family. LIV Tour lives on.
There's another thing. They don't even get to finish. You don't even get to watch the leaders come in at the end. For the love of God, can we please have it where there's a little bit of build up to the hype?
Same time.
Garbage.
Who wants to take forever?
Garbage. I want to watch the leaders come in
Right,
like
we need
it
to
always
move
has
on.
been.
Thank you. The next question is for Andy. Andy, aside from the obvious answer, the Yucatan Masters, what is the most prestigious major in golf and why?
Easiest question I've ever had. The Masters. Early April, spring, flowers blooming, most pristine conditions, the most calming Jim Nantz voice on TV. It's always the same course. The winner, the green jacket. How memorable is that? The winner's dinner that they do. There is no more of a prestigious event in golf. There's no more looked forward to event. I've been there myself, and I can tell you this, the beer there is very cheap. The pimento cheese sandwiches are delicious. You also can encounter some nice picketers outside trying to influence your social decisions on different moral issues. These other tournaments, they bounce around different locations. Nobody cares quite as much. No more need be said there. That's the easiest one yet.
Bob, your reply to that?
Yeah, okay. Andy was at the Masters once until security caught him from jumping the fence. So then he was escorted off. So I guess he was there for 15, 20 minutes or something like that. So congratulations on your trip to the Masters. That was great. And what's more is just because you live in a small box without any windows in it doesn't mean there isn't life on the other side of the pond. So just because you live here in the greatest country in the world, the United States, doesn't mean that there hasn't been great events happening worldwide for much longer than what the Masters has been. So the Open, or the British Open as the Americans like to call it, I know the people from Europe are a little offended by that, so I'm just going to call it the Open. Home of golf, much more global sense. That tournament started in 1860. And guess what happened 74 years after the Open started? The Masters started. Wasn't their idea. Alistair wanted to build a masterpiece down in Georgia, and he did. I've been there. I actually bought a ticket and went through it. I didn't get it from a scalper. I got it the regular way you do. The Masters is a beautiful place. It's a fantastic annual tradition. It is the kickoff to the season, all that great stuff. But the claret jug, the history of coming up on 200 years of competition, all the way from Old Man Morris, I believe his name was. You can talk about the Masters. It is beautiful. It's right in everybody's face because it's right down in Georgia, not too far from us. The Open is the best major of the year, the most traditional major of the year, the most prestigious major of the year on a global scale. If you don't live in the United States, you probably agree with me.
Not to mention the beautiful green fairways over there when it's all dried out, 30 degrees.
That's nature.
Your chance to reply.
Here goes Bob with the 200 years. 200 years of boring. I felt like it took 200 minutes. Thank you to those of you that haven't turned off your TV when he started talking about the British Open. The three of you left watching, allow me to rebut. Bob has never been to the British Open. He sees it on TV, he oohs, he ahs, they're wearing sweaters, there's no trees, the ball rolls forever. It's not that great of a tournament. It is a good tournament, of course it's a major and it's important, but at day's end, I think this is a landslide for the Masters. I think the British Open does have a lot of great history. Who the heck wants to fly 8 hours over there to freeze and being raining sideways, and yeah, cool. All right, we'll see you at the pub. I'm not impressed with the British Open. In fact, I like the US Open better, so you're really a couple behind. That doesn't surprise me. All said and done, all of us watching will be tuning in. We know it, and you'll be talking about it, and everybody will be excited for spring.
Bob?
Well, on top of insulting all the people that live in the UK and the areas where they play the Open, I guess Andy also hates Mother Nature. You can't talk about no trees. What's that have to do with anything? Andy easily digresses and tries to get off topic, and then we gotta talk about the US Open's better than the Open, the oldest major that there is, the Open Championship. Open your eyes, Andy. The Open Championship is it. I'm sorry. I love the Masters. All the Americans love the Masters. We all love the US Open, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Open is called the Open for a reason.
All right, our next question of the evening is regarding the issue of pros being allowed to wear shorts during golf tournaments. Bob, I know you have said in the past that your legs didn't deserve to be caged in by a pair of Dockers, but you've changed that stance and now say pros should have to cover up. What changed?
First off, as far as addressing myself, anyone that knows me personally, I have rather large calves and I have a very hard time finding pants that literally will fit my calves. I can thank my mother for that and just outrageously good genetics, as well as being outrageously strong, especially in the lower body. So I'll just praise for what I have and I won't argue with it. As far as the golf professionals go and being able to wear shorts or not being able to wear shorts, well, I mean, what if we allow shorts? Let's just go down that road and let's talk about what Andy's going to talk about here. Let's go a little 8 Mile on this. If Andy's going to sit here and tell you can wear shorts, well then how short is too short and how long is too long? And can you wear 3/4 length? And now can we wear them backwards? Can we just walk out there totally crossed out? So, I mean, I don't know how you're going to make a rule where you can do this, you can't do this, you can do this, you can do this, da, 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 da. It's never been a problem. Everybody's done it for 100 and some odd years. Just leave it be. There's no reason to change this tradition. Let the guys on the PGA Tour wear what they've always worn. The materials are great. They're very flowing. They're very breathable. There's no reason that everybody has to go out there and get a little bit of sun on their out-of-bounds stakes called their legs.
Andy?
First of all, Bob doesn't have calves, he has cows.
Jesus.
These things are rather large. He did mention some potentially legit reasons as to why they're so large. I'm not going to trade barbs here, but I do see Bob in shorts almost all the time regardless of the weather, which makes an interesting argument from him. So let's get into shorts a second. First of all, those of you out there understand these two words, swamp. If you've ever worked a conference, if you've ever been on your feet all day, you're wearing khaki pants or maybe even jeans. By the end, you're walking bow-legged and you're looking for the baby powder. Those of us bigger guys are probably diving a little faster for the baby powder than everybody else, but I think everyone can relate to that. Shorts is trending now, right? Become a little bit more laid-back lifestyle. They're wearing some more non-traditional things on the PGA Tour, some jogger stuff and some hoodies and some mock necks and whatnot. All of those things are kind of loosening the dress code, right? So this is a very easy one. PGA Tour needs to loosen it. All the live guys love it. Those of you out there watching right now, how many of you insist on wearing pants? My guess is only the nerds said me. You want to be comfortable. You want to have fun playing golf. You want to be loose and free-flowing. I wouldn't go so far to say cargos or jorts are appropriate, but nice khaki golf shorts, get out there on the course, have some fun.
Bob, your thoughts on
Okay, yeah. Well, first off, maybe Andy hasn't noticed, but I'm not on the PGA Tour currently, so I wear shorts most days. Yes, that's true. For me personally, not being on TV and being a regular figure in a social world, I just wear shorts because it's more comfortable for me personally. Most of you probably have heard of swamp. That is definitely a thing, and most of us have had to deal with that. I'm up here dealing with swamp breath right across the table from me. And as far as no one should be allowed to wear this, no one should be allowed to wear that, no one should be allowed to wear what Andy's wearing.
That's it.
That's it. That's all. That is my rebuttal.
That's your rebuttal?
Yeah.
I can tell you, every big guy out there in the world, Bob does not care for you right now for being a little bit.
We're talking about the tour here.
No, well.
Not every big guy.
Yeah, but the jeans.
Like a Pat Perez.
Yeah, of course.
Fat Perez. The
Fat,
other one.
Fat and Pat.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that insists on people wearing pants is typically a stiff. He's typically boring. So yeah, that sounds like your argument.
Next question is for you, Andy. I know you regularly carry anywhere from 2 to 6 drivers in your bag, so I think I know your answer here, but what's more crucial in golf, distance or accuracy?
Well, first of all, I can outdrive everyone in this room except for you, Steve, but sometimes I even get you. Distance, obviously. Everyone digs the long ball.
Let me stop you for 1 second. We're going to have a fact-checking session after this.
Yes, we are.
Verify
Yes, we are. I agree.
So,
Here and
go
there,
on.
here and there. People dig the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball. Dudes dig the long ball. Who gets the loudest cheer at every outing you go to? The long drive, the oohs, the ahs. Everybody takes a look at who that is, right? Hitting the ball farther, what isn't good about it? You go from hitting a 6-iron your second shot to an 8-iron, or in Bob's case, a 3-wood. The longer distance players oftentimes are the better players. I've had a friend named Jeff Kuzmano once say, golf's easy, just hit it 300 off the tee, chip on, and make birdie or par. The distance thing is a very simple thing. No one says, ooh, that was a straight drive. Wow, that was cool. The long ball's the easy answer. Maple Hill Golf, people come in every day looking to hit it farther. 1 out of every 50 is looking to hit it straighter. Sure, straight sometimes can help. I'll take the 300-yard crush all day.
Oh, Lord, there's a bunch to unpack from that there. First off, I've seen Kuz play. I've played with him before. I've seen him hit at 270, claim it was 300, chunk it twice, and still make double, okay? So let's clear that right now. Now, talking about PGA Tour driving average and all that fun stuff, when you're playing regular golf, if you nose hook it into a sand trap, that does count in driving average, Andy. So you're probably in the upper ones as far as driving average goes, because I've seen you nose hook it in the bunker probably 6 times during a round of golf, which is only 14 drives. Now I want to talk about something. If you've ever been to a PGA Tour event, Masters, whatever, and legally got into the event, if you put up a curtain and just watch everybody bang the drivers, you can't tell who's who. Every single one of those guys is absolutely mashing the golf ball. High, straight, turning it right, turning it left. They're just hitting ball after ball an absolute mile. And
Bob, excuse me. Steve. He's talking about accuracy here.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Well, all right. Yeah.
I'm sure
I got a little
some
more
great
here.
points.
I got a little more. So why doesn't a pro hit the driver on every single hole if driving is so important and the driver is so important? Why do a lot of guys tee off a 3-wood? I walked 18 holes with Camilo Villegas. He teed off a 5-wood. Probably 12 out of the 14 times you're allowed to hit a club longer than an iron because you're playing a par 3. If the driver is so important, why did Tiger win the Open? We hit driver 2 times in 4 rounds of golf, because it just doesn't mean that much. The most important golf club is and always will be the putter. Just because Andy sucks at putting doesn't mean the rest of us should pay the penalty and only sit here and talk about drivers and drivers and drivers. Why can't Andy beat me very often? Because he can't find his ball very often. That's why he can't beat me. And if you can't find your ball, your scores are higher, and I can get the golf ball in the hole in less strokes than what Andy can on a consistent basis. That's because I can putt the golf ball better. And I'm talking about putting off of grass. I'm not talking about putting out of sand traps, which my opponent here is known to do. And he also is such a bad chipper, he's known to putt from 80 yards and in oftentimes. Now, I'll putt from a relatively short distance from the fairway, but generally speaking, I can chip and I have the entire game. I do know why Andy thinks the driver is so important, because coming from a guy who primarily plays Spalding range balls and any ball that comes in a 15 pack, which we happen to have those on sale right now, but regardless, that's why Andy thinks it's so important, because he doesn't care if you lose a 25-cent golf ball, because that's primarily what he plays. And he just thinks that driving's cool and the chicks dig it. Well, chicks also dig trophies and winners. So the putter is what gets you in the hole, and that's the short of it.
Andy, any rebuttal?
Anyone that's going to listen to the opinion of a guy that freshman year had a staff bag and pulled it on a pull cart is somebody nothing like me.
Four-year JV player. Keep going.
Massive pull cart, dragging it around.
Also, 4-year varsity player. Second person in my school to ever do that.
Yeah,
Keep going.
It was amazing.
Keep going.
4-year nerd. Anyone that's going to listen to that, it's crazy. People out there, not one person out there, maybe a couple, are yearning for more accuracy. They want to hit it farther. They want to hit it longer. They want that distance ball. They want the performance. Everybody oohs and ahs. There's not a contest on TV for the straightest drive. It's the long drive. It's the grunts. It's the groans. It's the big boys hitting the big drivers. That's what everybody's out after. We sell that dream every single day at Maple Hill Golf. Bob knows it as well as me. Bob's not as versatile with the putter as me. Big deal. Yes, he beats me from time to time, but when it comes down to it, golf matches, and just so happened to happen about a week ago where the team captain by myself, and I named myself the MVP, absolutely whipped Bob in Palm Springs, California. So think about your source when you're listening to these things. Bob is a good player, yes, a very short hitter, one of the shortest hitters.
Find my ball.
He can't get a driver to about 200 yards, so naturally he's going to be a little bit bitter about it. For the rest of us out there, go long, hit it long, chip on, 1 or 2 putt, away you go.
And we're going to talk about nerd from a guy who's wearing a bow tie, for the love of God. That just, you can check your source. And then we're also going to talk about winning in Palm Springs last week. Yeah. So we had a meeting, the team captains, Andy and myself, and he literally lowered everyone's handicap on his team but his own, so that he would make sure he won. Andy did win. Andy hates a fair fight, and here we are again with him talking nonsense and just whirlwind of garbage. So in closing, folks, thank you very much. I appreciate your time watching these videos. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you got a laugh out of it. I hope you agreed with all my opinions, because they're right. And Poindexter here is going to talk about how he's got some good points and all that. But if you go down the list of things I talked about, all the things Tiger's done for the game of golf and the world, you talk about legacy, and it's not close. You talk about the PGA Tour. Yeah, you talk about the most prestigious major in golf. Prestigious, not the best, the most prestigious is the Open. Wearing pants, wearing shorts, where do we stop? I mean, honestly, next thing you know, somebody's got on Color Me Bad out there, you know, I mean, we can't have that. So we got to keep it a little bit traditional there. What's more crucial, distance or accuracy? Clearly, finding your ball is more important. That's why not every pro hits a driver every time. And then the most essential golf club in your bag is the putter, clearly, obviously. So I just want to thank all my loyal video watchers. I put a lot of videos out there. I got a lot of positive feedback, unlike Andy. A lot of people basically mock him when he does his videos and his hands behind his back and all the garbage that he does. So I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being a loyal supporter of both Maple Hill and Bob Kitchen. And now here's Andy to say some nonsense.
Thanks everyone for watching. It's a great debate. In closing, I would say if you're ever going to do a video or be on TV, I'd suggest doing your hair. At least a little bit. I would suggest wearing a shirt that's not 10 years old.
I look great. Sharp.
And I would suggest having your facts straight. I think all of my points were very easy. The Masters, Jack Nicklaus, the driver, the long ball, people that use a staff bag and a pull cart in high school golf. I close with that. I thank you for watching. Thanks for being a part of Maple Hill. Thanks for listening to Bob ramble on far longer than you wanted to. We hope you have a great rest of your night.
Well, folks, we've reached the end of this debate. We want to hear from you. We'll use hashtag Team Andy or hashtag Team Bob, and please drop your choice in the comments below.